This Penny
Just
did get
sandbox
saved
game.
a long time.
Yeah,
I
it
do
really
think
is
that the
like
sacrifice will come in.
kind of like a
Maybe
Minecraft.
Berserker.
Yeah, I like
maybe
sandbox
No,
games.
the Green Devils too. That might be a good
There
option
was
too,
one that
depending
came
on
out
the
kind
amount
of
of
more
money he
recently
needs.
where you can destroy
But I do
everything.
think that Julian's
It looked
gonna
like a pretty
save
fun
the
sandbox
this
game. I don't remember what it's
sacrifice
called now, but
for
you can just like
possibly wave
it's like all
13
destructible
in case
environment.
of a long save.
It looked like a pretty fun
Because you
sandbox
could
game.
sacrifice one of those 3D archers.
Mm.
However, the tank situation is looking pretty grim
I just
on
wish
Julian,
Arc
and he's
was
receiving a ram here.
good.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
receiving a ram.
Such a good concept.
And Penny receiving a 4 eyes for the Banana Haven.
Yeah.
So good read from Toho, reading that the Haven was to come. And neither players are utilizing the sacrifice, expecting the 12 cent maybe.
Yep, everybody went, and it looks like, at least from value, that the only one to be very concerned would be Toho, but it's
Getting on the income here, so
yeah.
it's looking pretty good. It's going to be a small leak. However, we need to point out that even if Julian is overvalued here, he does not have the best units on this wave, and he is leaking here, and same as Penny. So the auto assault play does work out to get some shutdowns, but not as effective as they would have wanted.
Toho's winning, dude.
Right, but only 2 king ups on the board, so the damage here should be very good.
So we're talking about 50%, maybe 40% king HP remaining. But the income situation is pretty much in favor of Penny and Julian. We remember that Toho went for the cartel as well as the outlawed assault, both getting negative income on this wave.
Right, and the gap between Penny and Toho is widening very, very quickly.
And we're talking about the 60 income difference here. Even with Julian, it's a 50. Cedars is a bit closer, but still a big gap. So this is going to snowball a little bit here. Toho did push quite heavily. He is playing undervalue. He is going to be weak on wave 13. And same goes for Cedars. And that is going to be the next send from Julian and Penny. They don't have to risk anything, I believe.
Yep, and they take it. Definitely seeing the opportunity and going for it. A siege going into Toho, which will probably...
Man, Pennywise and Julian
Toho
are
being
taking off in
undervalued
this
anyway,
game. Toho's in a bit of
should
trouble,
do
man.
well.
Let's go, Toho! Pull it together, buddy!
So we did
They
have
got
a 4.2k.
4.9.
4.9k.
Versus
Jeez.
4.4,
in the
4.3.
all
4.4.
3 units, which is pretty much the core of this build.
It's the income
All
difference.
really
Like,
dominant.
Julian's like
Doubling down on the
100 gold
floors is
above
quite interesting.
Mhm.
Possibly
and
trying to
Cedars
snipe some
without,
of
yeah.
the sense here.
Yeah, they're getting
And
scaled hard.
it's going to work against the imps, to be honest.
Scaled like
Right,
a
and
fish.
then 4 eyes going into both Julian and Penny.
Shut
So
up,
they are
Splash.
matching the 13 cent. However, I do believe there was the sacrifice coming in on both sides. We did
Shut
have
the
the one of
fuck
Penny
up.
sacrificing the Haven for the
Right.
Doomsday and the Vitalizer. But
Fish
I
have
did not see
scales,
the
man.
one of Julian. He does still have those two Trinity Archer. He does have the Sovereign. So it might come a little bit later for him. Toho leaking the whole wave, but
Was I
getting
dreaming? Was there an
the
Elden?
imps,
Was
but
Adam
they were not
Sanya in
doing
an
better
Elden Ring
in
commercial
leaking
last
the
night during the
pack
UFC
as
He
well.
was.
So the
Okay.
intention of Toho did work out at the end to snipe
I just
Sen.
had this weird memory.
However, it
Definitely
did not kill
was.
anything else on the wave. It will be game here on game 1.
He was like
I do want. I do.
I actually
want-
remember seeing that commercial while I was falling asleep.
That was like the last memory
Yeah,
before I passed
building
away.
That's
Haven,
game, huh?
covers
Yeah,
the top,
Damn.
that's
knows
first
that it
round, man.
hides the
They just
Was
got
that-
wrecked, huh?
yeah, I'm sorry about the lags.
Yeah.
Computer is not made for everything.
Waiting for game
That
capture.
Toho.
But
Oh.
no matter, we need to continue presenting here, and we do have the first game going to
Yeah, switch it
Julian
up
and
because of the
Penny.
fucking.
And yeah, I mean the turning point was pretty much the early game, and the early game is just the aggressive push from Toho, not recognizing the weak waves of the gun and what he's weak to receive from. And if it was a little bit more controlled, slower push in the end. It would have been maybe a bit better in the long run. Going for a longer save in the early game, getting a lower worker push and longer save,
Oh, that's not gonna
utilizing
work.
your cartel just for an early game thing. So castle for Penny was done, and we did have Julian on yellow.
Right, and if the leaks were more conservative and like longer saves
We've got
was the
Bush.
route that went that game, with how long those waves were
Dude,
going,
that's so cool. I got the
I imagine
conveyor
that
lift
would
belt.
have worked very well for
Now it
pressure.
brings it up to
Yeah,
the top here.
that is what I was expecting. Like with how Cedar was playing it, extending the waves, stuff like that. Maybe just go for a long safety tree instead of Snell, King up, and then Snell again. Just go to 0 to 3, utilize your early aggression with pressure, and then you can be fine afterwards.
But against conventional wisdom, definitely from looking at the masterminds in the send order, Castle comes out on top of that exchange. So, as far as the tournament rules go, Toho would be allowed to pick that again, right? It's only not
Yeah,
available if you win.
it is only if you win. So I have the scene ready here, and as you can see, Penny and Julian have Penny cannot use Castle anymore, and Julian cannot pick YOLO anymore. So I do expect probably a Penny going for YOLO now, and then Julian going for Greed or Castle depending on the role. I'm going to try something for the next game. I'm gonna lower the quality in game. Think it should help a little bit, but it might just be due to the upload thingy, because it looks like the internet is a bit jumpy on my side.
Got it. Okay. Not a problem. And then the lobby is up and ready to go whenever you are.
Yeah, I'm joining in now, and we will see what we can do. All right, so that's what we expect, but I do hope we see Toho and Steelers going for longer saves now. If they want to go for that lock-in Crusher play, longer saves are required, and I think that if they go lock-in Pyro, they should do it as well. So really thinking that they need they need to adjust it. I mean, let Penny and Julian go for their income, try to utilize the early potential of Cartel and lock in to generate more Mythium on your side, and just go from there.
Right. As far as the mastermind picks go, I obviously can't say for certain. They can change it up in any possible way with what remains for the options. But for Toho, I don't. Just off what little I do know about Toho, it doesn't seem like lock-in for his choice would be something that stands out. So I assume that today we'll only see Cedars use it if it's used again.
Alright,
But
Toho Watch Party now
it'll be
turns into
interesting
a
to see
Splinters
if
TFT
if not the
watch
case.
until
Oh.
the game starts.
So yeah, I mean, best of
I
fives
don't
are
turn that
all
game
about
starts up all and say,
adjustments.
no,
So
no, no. Don't watch
you try
this
something
stuff.
out. If it doesn't work,
You don't want to
try
see
and
this.
see what you can do to
I'm going
fix what
Mirage, but I didn't
happened,
realize it's
what
the fucking stupid
was
Mirage where you
the
get the fucking
issue,
treasure
spotting it,
chest
and stuff
Pirate
like that.
Mirage. I'm gonna have to change off. See.
Right, you have a lot of time to figure out some
Well, I got the dragon
paths to
already, so I
victory,
might
and
just go
also
try to
with
run
the
it.
rules being what they are for this tournament. With each win, they're at a disadvantage somewhat for what can be picked. So
Yeah, too bad that patch
you can kind
sucks.
of, if you're down
Otherwise,
a
I'd
game,
play it
you
with you.
kind of at least have a better insight into what your win condition could be,
Yeah, the
just based
game's
on
fucked.
masterminds. Obviously, the game will be different.
Shut up, Brian.
So we'll go to game
Nobody wants to
2
play that
here
silly
of the
game.
series. First game going to Penny and
With a
Julian
patch like that.
utilizing Castle
Right.
and Yellow.
Okay, give me.
And that's gonna be the
Tell 'em to
reverse
roll
here.
it back.
They are keeping the green
Oh,
for
Toho's
safe
game has
finish here, it
started.
looks like.
No more splinters watchings.
Or
Good.
maybe
Yeah.
that's where Julian just picked greedy, because look at this
Very
penny
much
roll
style.
here. It's Grawl. It's Grawl Fiesta
Oh,
here.
yesterday
Like
was hella fun
you
though, dude. I fucking
Wow.
we had this big
place
outdoor
Grawl,
party. I brought
you
my parents to
do a
it, so
tier
my
6,
dad and my
you
mom
Grawl,
and I
do
did
another
big
tier
thing
6,
really
you
good.
Grawl, another tier 6.
It was super fun.
That's
Got
pretty
him
much
out of the
the
house.
story of the game for Penny here with this roll,
That's cool.
which is not
Took your parents to
impossible
a
to play,
party.
just
Nice.
very, very finicky.
Took
Yeah.
it to a super spreader event.
Sure.
Okay, yeah, I haven't
pretty much.
seen.
It was outside,
I
so
haven't seen that one. That would be really, really cool.
plus we all got
So
the
hopefully,
vaccine, so you
I
know.
mean, with YOLO,
Oh yeah,
the
so you're
options are
protected
limited.
for sure.
Yeah,
Let me
the only thing
try
that's gonna kill us
to
is our
lower
vaccines,
the
right?
resolution a little bit.
Statistically.
Yes, statistically, no,
Let's
not
do
statistically.
should
92% of deaths in
or
the
maybe
last
just
month
off.
in the
I should
UK
just start
were
watching
So there will be
Splinters
vaccinated.
no
play and
shadows
stream it
though.
to Twitch.
It'll be a little bit weird.
Ninety-two
But
percent
I
of
think
all
it would be
recent deaths
better
have
in
been
terms of
vaccine related. Is
performance
that
for
what you
the
just said?
stream.
No,
Should
we're
be better.
vaccinated people. People that died from COVID. 92% of
Ah,
them were vaccinated.
I see.
Sometimes you have to do sacrifice,
It's
and
just
no shadows is
statistics.
pretty much the best thing I think.
That's what
Visually.
Oh
you're dealing with.
motherfucker, no power. Shit.
So
Do
we
I
did
have
have a
enough
lock-in.
power?
That
No.
is a
Yeah.
bazooka lock-in for Toho.
Needs
It's
more
they're going for
power.
the green here. And we have the frustrated ping of Julian here.
I see.
However, the role for Toho is not that excellent for the Pyro, because there is a clear weakness on wave 8, and that is despite having the mask, because it is quite vulnerable to a Mole Hermit on wave 8. So we'll see if Julian decides to go for that. He has Castle, so it is something you can do with Castle, and that is
We've
to go
got
for a
power.
longer save here.
Trying to see what Penny's gonna decide to do with this YOLO roll. It's nearly the fabled tier 6 only roll, but he did roll out of it.
He
Yeah.
did roll out of it, so a little bit sad. There was an opportunity to go egg. He did not go for it. He just wanted to play it safer. It looks like, but however, it would have been very nice for him to go egg. Yes, the Viro pushes aggressively. However, the egg um, can still be quite fine here, especially if you pair it with a Tempest. There is very little chance you have a long wave
I
2
want to see what
with
Julian
a
does
Pyro.
against this. Sending against a stupid
But going
Pyro.
against it, going for the Avenger instead, I would presume, paired with the Anchor, could still be a very nice thing for Penny here.
Nothing crazy exchanging with sends, just a little bit of income.
Shit.
And Toho and Zero just
Motherfuckers
not
are out of
adjusting
power.
here, going for income. However, I do think that with Pyro, if you're getting saved up front, it's still fine to go for income, because you have the possibility to out-push the opponent early game. But I would love to see now the long save. I would love to see the long save, protect the wave 8 that is shown to be weak on Toho, and just work around that. I go for a 7 Sen against Julian, which is going to work pretty well. And even against Penny, even if he has the Avenger, uh, he wants the stacks on 12 on wave 7, and the Avenger is not impossible to leak on wave 7 either.
What would you send to actually get through that? Like a mimic? Or
Oh.
would it
A
be
Mimic
military?
works pretty well, and that is quite reasonable to get with the Pyro.
Right.
And if he started saving on wave 3 and pushed aggressively, then a Ghost Knight would have been possible too. However, he is not pushing aggressively, which is a little bit unnecessary here for Toho, especially receiving King Ups on wave 3.
Right. And no send, I mean no save rather, and sending the Blizzard for income. So a large counter on 7 is not on the table.
We also have a little bit of a misposition on the mask here. We'll tank the whole wave here, a little bit too far forward. But Pyro being the Pyro is gonna be fine here on this wave. However, in the future, that is very problematic for Toho. And also a little bit overbuilding here for with the Pyro, which is not exactly what you want. He probably wants the red mask, yes. However, you don't want it to tank that much. So very interesting to see how he will adjust his units, but the positioning is not optimal here.
No, without any changes, that should mean just a total snipe of that mask on 5.
And he does go for
Got
the red mask here is gonna tank the boss on 5, gonna be tantrum on 6 and 8, which is enough against waves. However, he will require a gargoyle to protect it on wave 7 for sure. So we talked about Pyro being able to outpush. If you're playing this safe with Pyro, you're never
Right.
going to outpush anyone, and even the castle player is able to keep up with the push of Toho. And again, no saving here for Toho and Cedar is playing right in the end of the castle player here, scaling with him.
Right, no saves. Interesting to see if we'll get some adjustments on positioning to have that Hellraiser not full tank.
And
But so far so good. But I mean, like you mentioned, Toes.
Cedar leaking here. The cat is stuck on the dino here, barely not killing it. That is the danger. However, the income send looks like it's gonna work on Julian and Penny, but very small leaks.
No. Oh no, it's not.
Bounty
That
Hunter
is a
just
crit.
barely holding here, but I mean this is like minimal king damage, and look at the leak from Cedars. So big. It is covered, yes, but this is a lot of gold loss from Cedars. And income sends again. Julian's starting to save though. So this means he wants to go for a big 8. He has enough workers to make it to the Mole Hermit. So it will be interesting to see what he decides to do now.
Pennywise sitting at 9 workers. That's crazy.
Yeah. The plays up till now with the lock and pyro don't protect really the worst wave, being 8.
I mean, the Green Devil is quite good there. The Mask Skyver is still tanking too much here. The Buckler does help a little bit, should share a little bit of the aggro, it does. But it is still too much for wave 8, so it will require a little bit more adjustment for wave 8. However, the 103 cent here towards Penny might catch him by surprise here at wave 6 cent against Avenger. Is not something you see often. However, the split aggro here is going to be quite fine here.
It's going to be a hold, yep.
Cedars, however, struggling with the cat build. Nothing for wave 6. It's going to be quite strong on 7 and 8, and that's what long saving can do also to you, is to protect some weak waves, and them not long saving, not preparing for the weak wave is going to be quite a struggle for them to recover, because now Penny is at 11 workers.
And he's scaling very well. The mole is coming on 7, not on 8 to Toho.
So aiming the non-tantrum wave of the mask, and also recognizing that the mask is tanking here,
Right.
meaning that only the pyro is going to survive long enough here, and that is only magic damage. So good adaptation from Julian, recognizing the positioning mistake here from Toho, and trying to exploit it.
Whoa.
Wait, the voice is laggy? What?
PC problems, I assume.
I mean, I
Everything's
don't see any
laggy.
problems on my end, so maybe it fixes itself, but... Toho only leaking the mole. And he did snipe the blue. I'm trying to understand the problems. Oh god, what? What's going on? What? working?
As far as the voice coming through, yeah, can hear you.
Okay, there was a bug. Okay, there was a bug somewhere. Sorry about that. I found the issue. I found the issue. I think I found the issue. Alright, now this should be better. This should be better in terms of voice and everything.
Holy
Um,
shit, Pennywise has 17
So,
workers.
did we
Oh.
have a Sentinel Wave 8 here?
We did. I believe it was a large sum of income coming into Julian's lane, which was full held. So they are they are starting to scale off that. The win percent just shifted pretty drastically.
So yeah, but Cedarers here is going to receive the double brute. He does have the million perfectly tanking here. However, the front line is just not there, and this will result into a leak again from Cedarers. Struggling here in this game.
How's your games going, Splinters? You winning, buddy?
Yeah, 52.
No, it's not.
That will be.
What
It's
the
fine.
hell?
How's your game going?
Toho's losing.
I shouldn't be eating malnourished.
Yeah, with the mask, that's a whole
What?
Needs to be more nourished.
no problem.
More nourished?
Snail army coming from Toho over
You should have
to
grilled some chicken up, bro.
Penny.
No, it's not chicken time yet, though. So, yeah.
It's too early for grilling
Grill
up
that
chicken.
chicken.
Snail army just there to
I made hamburgers
distract the
at like 9
kingpin
this
for
morning,
as much
dude.
time as possible.
You can't all
Jeez, yeah, just
live
keep
dangerously.
That amount of mythium, nothing, no combination of things is going to result in a leak there. That is a lot of value on the board.
Yeah, it is a lot of value on the board, and as well for the audience wave 10. Toho receiving the pack, going to struggle here on wave 10. It even having Avenger, but we do have the Halo on Cedarers that might help him clear, but the front line is still not here.
Easy clear for Penny. Little leak. Julian.
Toho and dude, they're
That'd be
so
no
dead.
problem.
Cedars
But
and
a lot
Toho. Oh,
coming
no.
in to
Penny just took off this
side.
game.
This is, yeah, quite a hit on wave 10.
Quite a hit on wave 10, 50%, and that's just because they go for the income game, but they are not willing to push. They're not
It's
utilizing
like
their
one of those
power
days where I'm
spikes
like, I don't
either.
know what I want to play.
And so this means that Penny and Julian, having yellow and castle, are getting further ahead, while the lock-in pyro is not having any influence here in this game.
About to rock some minions.
Yeah, the lock-in pyro did not work for scaling
You want
early.
to do
Did
twos
not
or just
protect
soloing?
I'll do
the
twos.
wave. Well, I guess
Alright.
the plan to go on 7 didn't work as well as we
Carry your
probably
scrub
planned,
ass
so
a little
that
bit.
backfired too
Yeah,
bad. Killing it.
yeah.
And now that we're on 11, these masks are going to take the brunt of all of this for Toho.
Yeah, the masks are not surviving here. The masks are not surviving. And I mean, he only has the pyro remaining now, and the wave 12 is coming despite facing the AoE. Just shows to you that they are aware that the front line is pretty bad here for Toho with the pyro.
Oh yeah, big sends coming in.
Oh my goodness. Pennywise and
And
Julian are
there's no
destroying this
adjustment
game.
to the positioning for the mask. If the entire value that's there in the front vanishes instantly, it's not going to be very pretty.
You've got gold.
And strictly by value, by the end of this, after Toho builds, it should be in the yellow for the value, but no changes so far on positioning to cover the masks at all. So that Hellraiser just gonna be treated kind of like a tier 1 and just gonna get shredded. And so it does.
Give me a
do
sec, I gotta
have
make
only
some more
one pyro,
coffee.
and it is a sovereign on
Yeah,
Toho,
no
so
worries. I'm
hopefully
just
fine
opening up
there.
chests right now.
Oh, you probably got an
So
hour
this is
worth
a
of
leak from
chests,
Toho,
yeah.
and this is a leak from Cedars as well.
I'm
This is
almost
going
done.
to be game, it looks like, here with the pack growth.
Oh my god, Toho! No, Toho!
Mole Hermit. You got all three. Very low king ups. Yeah, that's gonna be huge.
So I do hope that what I did fixed the stream a little bit. I see that right now I am adjusting it, so it should be better overall. So again, sorry about that. I'm not sure if it totally fixed or not. But yeah, I'm doing my best with what I have. I know I don't have the best computer and stuff, but yeah, we are trying. So sorry about this bad coverage about the game, but it's mostly decided about the early game here. Toho and Sears not utilizing the power spike of the Pyro early game. A little bit of mispositions with the mask and stuff. Not allowing him to push as hard as he could with the Pyro here.
Right. Also, for what it's worth, it looks like the most recent chat comment says that the quality greatly improved. So whatever you did seems to be working.
Yeah, you know where when Discord crashed?
Yeah.
I mean, instead of crashing properly, what it
Crashing
did,
properly.
it continued running in the background and it opened up
Oh,
another
you said
Discord.
copy.
So
Got
we
it.
had two Discords.
Ah.
And the background one was just eating everything.
All right. I'm glad you narrowed that one down.
But that was very hard to find, and I didn't know it was possible. Didn't know it was possible.
Yeah, that's the first I've heard of that one. That's pretty specific.
So right now we only have Greed remaining on Penny and Julian, and so this means that they are going to play safe here for the last part here to go through. So it's gonna be very extra hard here for Toho and Cedars because Greed is the comfort pick for most of the IELO players.
Yeah. Contrary to its name, it's old reliable, not very greedy at all.
That's not the right button. This is the right one. Okay. So we do see here the reminder of options here. Penny and Julian did use their specific mastermind options. And then they only have greed. And Toe and Sidorers, they need to recognize their income sending is just not working. It's not working
Damn,
for
all
Penny
the
and
minion
Julian.
packs are
They need to exert
75%
pressure,
off.
and they need to find
Yeah.
other
Oh,
ways
That's what I
That's
to
bought
down.
them.
do it. And I think
Huh?
it's not impossible
That's
for
my
them
chance to
to
get it and get all
find
those
this.
rubies back for the ones you
And
bought.
if they adjusted this game,
Really?
I think they
Yeah,
have a
like if you
chance.
buy the all minions
You can
pack,
do
you get
your
rubies
lock-in, like
for
do
the
double
heroes you already
lock-in to
own.
Crusher
So is
Oh,
that.
I bought the
Crusher
all
something,
heroes
just to
like a
add
long
slow
time ago.
waves and put
Yeah,
pressure
I still don't think
to
I'm gonna buy it
extended
though, just because
waves.
I don't know.
Right. That makes sense to me. The
I was
comfort
all about. I
level
gave it
that
super
Toho
fun
had
and came back to it, and then I
seemingly
stepped away
from
with it again.
Cartel was a lot higher.
it's like any other game.
Obviously, the leaks were also higher, but there was a definite game plan.
Yeah,
And
it gets
was being
it's like
followed.
fun then
They
boring,
didn't
but I
give
do
them the
find
win that one,
myself
but
I do come
definitely
back to it a lot.
clear what the
Right.
goal was
You
So
did.
it's
when they switched it up and Toho
The way it should be.
had the responsibility of leading
it's
somewhat
one of
with
those
the
games
lock-in
where
pyro.
you
It
quit
just
it
looked
for a
like the
little bit,
comfort
but you always
and the
come back.
understanding of the strong waves and how to apply the pressure wasn't there. So we'll see how they adapt to that. Maybe
Yeah,
another cartel pick for Toho.
If they came out with a 3v3 and a
the plan
4v4,
was there,
that
so
would
maybe
be
they just
something
refine it.
else.
yeah,
Yeah,
Cartel with
that would be sick.
lock-in was working pretty. It seemed
I do feel like there's some
promising,
things they could
just
do
poorly
that could,
executed, as you
yeah,
said.
like that would
Um,
spice the game up,
just work
make
out
it
on the
fun again,
execution, and they might have a chance. To be honest.
add some different game modes somehow.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was very impressive how slow those waves were
you
getting
put it up.
from Cedar. So that can be replicated.
That would make a huge difference
The
too,
amount of pressure that
because
can be
so many more
especially
people would
knowing
play,
at both
and that would make
Toho
people like
and
us who are already good, we'd
I
become
think that makes
gods
it
at this game.
a lot more
Because there'd be
interesting
such an
knowing that the
influx of
pressure you're
noobs.
applying is kind of either way.
The
Both ways,
average skill
either way,
level
it
would
doesn't
be
matter.
like
Still
0.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Yeah, so looking at the builds here, and looking at the Legion side first,
Oh.
we have Punch Up, Giant Snow Adventure. So we saw yesterday how people got
ready?
baited to not send on 10 or not expect to send on 10 yeah, with the Venture. But let's see here if they can still manage to see a weak wave. And we have Julian trolling here.
I got my Scrat deck loaded.
Uh, Not sure what his game plan is.
Okay.
But I do believe it would be a
This is a
crusher
little warm
start
up.
for Julian with a Gargle addition on wave 2 here. Would be the better option, and
Let me
it could
refill my
allow him to
coffee
go
then.
for either a Fire Road or a
Been
Bonk
running this
earlier.
void deck.
I
Um,
heard noise. I heard
Penny
noise.
is still yet to decide his role, while Toho is going to go for the Elite Archer route.
I sent you an invite.
Yeah, I got it.
Also trolling the stream.
I'll try my void deck. If it don't work, we'll
Well,
swap it
while
up.
they warm up with their hotkeys,
Yeah,
I could
no,
use my
Julian is
crystals
just
too.
messing around with the extra time he has. He knows he wants the Crusher, so it's gonna be fine.
Need
what
3 more
while we have a
levels
moment here, what
to beat
what is
or
the
to get
reasoning of
the
you said being baited
battle pass
on a
finished.
send on 10 with Venture? Is that just assuming
You been playing
that you're
minions
gonna
at all,
be
Burns?
stockpiling a lot of gold
Yeah,
to
I'm
make
playing.
use of it? So
Your
I'm playing
masters again?
The logic behind it
on
is
the
that
ranch.
if your enemy is weak on
Your
12 and
masters
they
on
send on
random?
10, you
Yeah.
bait them to
Hello.
take
Damn,
damage
you've
here
been playing the
with
fuck out of it then, huh?
and,
Nah, I've been playing it
also,
since
if you're
yesterday.
weak on 10, the enemy can just send
Shit,
to you on
Z.
10
That shit
and
Z.
say, well, take Venture if you
Yeah,
want.
I
You're
played
gonna
it
have even
yesterday
less
and got
gold
up
on the
to,
full
what
waves.
am I,
So I can
gold
resend, I
2,
can do
just
12, I
like
can
for
do
playing it
a
for like an
longer
hour
save
or
after
2.
that, and it
Or
doesn't
I
really
think I was
matter
only
for me.
playing for like an hour.
got it. Great.
Alright,
That
you
makes a
ready,
lot of
Brian?
sense.
Yep.
Snail with a Dream for wave 1. Toho holds the snail because he added a split.
Yes, I mean this is very good also as a start for Toe to hold that Snell and get that bonus goal. Very useful for him.
Well, other than that, a pretty uneventful wave 2. Only one send for some income from Cedarers.
But now I think it's important to see the long saving. Now we see Daphne can be weak on 3, so he can attempt to leak on 3. And Julian was tested with Snell in case he goes 6 workers, but he goes 6 workers after the send here, so he is a little bit more vulnerable on next wave, but I think he gets the Fire Archer with an extra send. We're gonna check here the amount of gold. He does require 65 gold, and he does get it here, so this is going to be a Fire Archer right over here.
Yep. There it is.
Penny staying with the Daphne. What is the addition he can go for? He is missing 5 gold for the veterans, so this will be a leak from Penny. Nothing he can add really speaks to me as something that will hold.
There we
Fuck.
go.
Goes for the Sea Dragon. I'm quite interested to see how it fares with the Daphne, to be honest. Daphne taking the full wave, though. It's not something you want.
Right. Just a bit outside on the tank. With equal split of that.
Maybe with equal split it would have worked, but
Right.
with 2 ranged units it's always a bit tricky here. And Penny
Damn,
leaking
dude.
52% here.
Well, great call out by Toho. That
Fucking wrecked them.
But now you get
Yeah,
that
this deck
advantage
that I
here.
made,
You see
it's pretty fucking,
Daphne
pretty saucy.
and Sea Dragon. And then you see Julian with Bone Crushers. So you need to see
It's a
that
pretty saucy
wave
deck,
6 or
man.
7 are quite good options for you. So if you go income sense here,
Nice
you
when you get
want to
dropped in
try and
gold
skip
too.
5 and 6
You
to
just
a
slow
Yeah, oh
7.
down.
yeah,
That
right.
would be sure,
It's one thing
because
I
that
love
would
about the new
force Julian to
seasons,
prepare
getting
for
ranked low
6
again and just being
with
able
the
to slaughter
Orchid,
your way back up.
possibly, and he could not shift for the bunk.
That's what keeps
So
this
it will
game
be
fun
interesting
for
to see
me.
what are the choices. Toho is already saving here, so it is an indication that they might have spotted it.
Yep.
What the fuck was that?
Fairly
Was that you or them?
That was
Cedars
them.
sends an
Oh.
additional snail.
But I had the shield on the one sniper, so
So
No
Toho's
bueno.
myth is going to be much higher. Well, not much, just much higher than Cedars if they're going to go that route.
So it seems to be a little bit too much on the priestess. It's gonna be a big leak on Cedarers, but the healing just barely
Ooh,
not enough here, but
very big.
still a big leak here.
So Christian
He
burning
still
the
pushed quite a
Brast
lot
is
here. It was 8
Julian.
workers before
Yeah.
the wave.
Oh, I
He's
didn't realize
received
that was
an
him.
80%.
Yeah, he's got 2 accounts.
him.
Julian something
And
something and
Julian
burnt
holding
this
perfectly
Brast
here.
and
Very
River.
super reliable here. It's perfect for him. Goes to 8 workers as well.
Very nice.
Even 9 workers here. So that indicates to me that they expect that
Oh,
wave
fuck.
6 send
yeah.
and not afraid
I
on
think this
wave
is gonna
5.
hurt.
Toho going
I
for the
think we
send
lose here.
here.
Yep.
Not
Dude,
going
it
for
looks
the
like the
expected
towers go
wave,
down really fast now.
6 or 7 here.
Nah.
Bro, it just feels
Double
like
dragon turtle
1, 2,
snail
3 done.
on 5. Well, as this is laid out, boss on wave 5 will approach Daphne.
Those rock colossals.
Holy shit, 10 workers
Seem
on
to be
wave
a lot
5?
tougher.
Right a little bit by
Who's got
Rogard.
that?
Rogard hopefully tanking.
Julian.
What mode did he pick?
I don't know. I gotta see.
You can hover
No,
over it. It's right
Daphne
there.
full
Where?
tanking just the
On the
boss though,
bottom.
so that works out.
I can't hover
So
over
that's going
anything.
to be a
Well, you can
hold
tell where the
here for
pick
Panic.
Oh,
is
he
at.
picked
Rogard buying a lot of time.
Greed.
We do have here Julian pushing a lot and gonna leak here. But the boss here on Toe's lane is not getting killed, and that's
I
a
had to
big
blow
leak
2 cards on that.
Toho, but a hold
Yes.
from Cedars.
Good value.
Yep, and sizable chunk of the wave getting all the way through to King. The income sends made it there. So that's some gold they don't get to collect. And a sizable hit. Wave 5, early hit.
Yeah,
I got
and I'm
nothing for
very
that.
sorry for the viewers that I forgot
All
to
my
switch
shit's
the
melee.
scene. So you have extra knowledge about the picks of everybody, but it is
Bummer.
fixed now.
Welcome to the game, everybody. Sorry about that.
But 10 workers on both Julian and Cedars, and Cedars continuing to go for income sense.
Yeah, look at their
Wonderful.
tower go down so fast.
Toe receiving an 80 cent here. That's full snail's going to be a little bit problematic for him. Oh, but the
Elite
perfect
Archer
split, the
surviving.
perfect split here, so working well for him. He's enabling himself to push a bit harder here. He has a good setup for 7 and 8 with the Trinity Archer.
Great hold.
Toe and Zero's going for income again here, not putting any pressure, and that's worrying a little bit.
Nice.
Yeah, that is a good option to have for 7 and 8, no doubt. Surprisingly, does pretty good on 9 actually. It's especially if it's
Hold
used
on, I
to
gotta read
tank
a
some of
couple
the waves.
things.
Very good. Leviathan.
Okay.
Fairly early game bonk from Julian as well, so the coverage
Get
is
rid of
not
this
bad by any
bitch.
means.
Trying to take my deck cost down a little bit.
Got that expensive deck, huh?
Yeah.
Sorry
Big
guys,
deck
I know,
damage.
but,
Yep.
so the wave 7 not effective because only going for income sense, no saves. Going also the Leviathan, there is a little bit of a bug here currently with the Leviathan, so it is better to go for Leviathans instead of Tempests.
What's a good low cost card
Is
that's
that bug
OP?
being just the DPS on it currently?
Good low cost
Yes.
card for your deck. What are you, Voidborn?
Oh, right.
Doesn't have to be void. Literally doesn't
That's
matter.
Are you gold yet, Splinter? Are you gold yet,
No.
Splinters?
More
Cost
income.
of dealing.
So hard to see a true path forward on what to do.
I did. I
about
built
this.
stupid shit too. Like I did.
You're better off just partying with Buddy if he's a higher rank, because you'll get way more fucking points when you win and
And-
lose a lot less when you lose.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I've been
Now,
trying to
I
explain
got to
that
platinum
him.
so fast when I
No,
was
no,
playing
I
with
was
you
at-
guys.
Huge
I was
amount
at
of
the floor. I
DPS
was like one
apart
loss away
from
from
it, so
D-ranking. So I was just...
makes a lot of sense for the 9
Well, Buddy
cent
wasn't
here.
ready.
Try
The
the
Azera,
Demon
though,
Warrior rush.
Buddy
very
wasn't
quite
ready.
interesting.
No, you
So,
I
avoided
have to
playing
go
with
with
me,
that for
Splinters.
that.
No, you were
so
doing.
the
You said
Sen
okay
can
after I
be still
watched.
lethal here
Toho.
from Penny,
Grab
especially
some
with the
Toho.
longer
I
save
played
here,
one
the
game.
longer wave here.
Yeah, I'll
It
do the
might be a
Bro,
bit
we need a
across.
wall actually. Could throw a wall in.
Throw a wall in. I can do that.
Typical Trump
And
supporter. We
it
need a
hits.
wall.
Isn't
Big
even
beautiful
damage.
wall.
A big beautiful wall. I can see Trump saying
No.
that.
Arcane ring. What am I thinking? Why not have arcane ring in? Like the
Not to
perfect
mention,
deck
I mean,
for it.
Tempest on 9, you look at it, not imagine it carrying its weight, but it does very
Yeah, because my
well.
deck cost is 4, which is still fucking high.
Mine's 4.2.
Damn, that's
And
super
income
high.
again, so if there's going to be any kind of
Mine's
trade
high,
here,
but
which
a lot of my cards reduce mana cost
I don't think there
between
will,
each other, so it kind of lowers it a little bit.
but
I have
The
a bunch
Bronk
of
is
2
tanking
cost too.
very nicely for Toho, but with the limited amount of DPS he has, it won't be enough, I think, to hold the wave. Despite his value being decent, the Mimic did come over to the side of Cedar. He is sniping the Mimic, he kills it just barely, but he does not clear the wave. And a small leak only from Toho, so not too bad. And the income sent here will not leak either Julian and Penny.
oh
Shit.
yes, nice clear
Hey.
from, oh no,
Alright.
small leak from Penny, but for
Like
team,
8%, that's a hold. That's a hold
Yo.
for Penny.
What's up, Burns?
What's going on, man?
team
Woke up.
Toho is not coming out on top of that.
How was the
exchange
fight
or
yesterday,
anything.
man?
But in terms of worker, we have
What do you
Cedar at
mean? You were
winning
watching it with us.
workers.
We all passed
Yeah,
out
we was
on
all
you.
snoring
Quite a lot of
Oh.
and
On Discord
Arsenal,
last night.
You might
what I
have
want
thought I
to
was
see
watching it. I was asleep.
is
No.
probably a wave 12 cent.
You didn't hear me
However,
yelling or nothing.
Did you see
both
that
Penny
clutch
and
play
Julian
on the
are
snipers
good on
there?
12,
Oh
which
shit.
can be a bit problematic. Maybe they try 11
Yeah.
Holloway and
but still,
Volkanovski
with
was
a punch up, it's
crazy
still quite hard
fight,
to
but
win 11.
I mean, I don't know.
It all depends on how long this
Holloway
wave
had
is. There
one
is
of
a
the worst
stealth towards
cuts
Toho,
I've
not
ever
contribute
fucking
too much.
seen.
But I think
You
Cedar
seen that
has a
shit,
chance
right,
to
Brian?
leak small.
I fell asleep on
Word.
that one
Nah,
too.
not even
Oh
close.
yeah,
This is
dude,
an
his
easy hold
whole
here.
fuck. I don't know how they let it keep going. You know
Oh,
those big ass
income,
Q-tips they
income.
like
This is
stick
going to
like
be-
on shit?
Yeah.
His
soon.
eyelid,
Just
eyebrow was
snatched up. I don't
literally
think this
split,
will-
like
I mean,
Unless
in
wide
this
open,
position, if
and
you're
they
Toho
took
and
the whole
Cedars and you
fucking
go for income
Q-tip
here,
and stuck it in there to stop the
Venture.
bleeding.
God damn.
Like, they literally put it on the cut,
Cedars goes
and
for
it
the
went
punch
into
up.
his forehead, and his forehead
Julian
closed over
goes
the
for the
Q-tip.
venture
That's
here,
how
so he
deep it
takes the
was.
risk himself.
Jeez.
Penny goes for
Oh
the
yeah, it was
punch up,
fucking bad.
protecting Julian, and Toho
Damn.
going for the punch up.
And
So
that
only
was in
Julian
like
going
round
for the
one.
venture here. Does
Yeah.
ETs leak him? I
That's
do not
crazy.
believe so. There's
Yeah,
a lot of tank
he
value
ended up
here and a lot
losing.
of
The
damage front to
Adesanya
there.
fight was
So
dog
it's looking
shit.
very grim here
Yeah, that
for
was
Passenger.
that's the one I fell
For
asleep
Simulating
on.
Toho, especially going for income
Yeah,
I
that
couldn't hear
one.
the fucking
not
nigga.
trying to
Yeah, I went
punish
back to
any
sleep.
type of
Oh,
damage.
dude, I was having trouble staying awake during that one.
Yeah.
The Lawler
Toho
fight was
going
alright.
for the punch
Oh,
up
the
will
Lawler
be
fight
able
was
to hold that.
badass.
Income
He
sent
always
with
comes out
the
hard and just
Julian,
steams out and gets
but
his glass
he
jaw
is very
punched in,
far
you know?
behind workers.
Dude, that's
Was
what I
sitting
said
at
about
13
Lawler.
workers
He's always
as of now,
entertaining.
and
Win
Yeah.
or lose,
trying to push
Yeah.
it's gonna be a
but
good fight.
Nah, he,
damage
for a guy that gets
as
knocked out a lot, he likes to just stand there and like
pressure.
throw, you know what I
That
mean?
is Penny.
Dude, he's
still
an
saving
old
towards
school
Cedars.
brawler. That's like
Yeah.
the era he grew up in. That's
Yeah.
all he knows.
Quite the same
Entertaining
age.
fights though, for
This
sure. Like,
rush is fucking
Realize
insane.
that number was climbing
Yeah.
quite that high.
Yeah,
This
you guys,
is-
your deck cost is too
That's
high.
enough. That's
Yeah,
that's
both
the
of
amount
our
of
deck
time where you
rolls are
look
way
at
too
it.
fucking high.
Just ending the
Yeah,
game.
I mean, he's
you guys
right.
might
I
be-
was. I'm just
He's
trying. I just
absolutely
want to
right.
try a
Just
different
send a
deck.
message.
No,
Yeah,
Is-
that is
and-
just to
And
protect
Brian's
possible
fucking
reset
got a
because they
fucking
know that
12
Julian
cost
is doing
stack.
is on the
your shit
venture,
is
Well,
glitchy.
now it's my
and
fault.
also
When
You
we're
like
winning,
wild.
we're winning.
that
When we're
maybe
losing,
you
we're
want to
losing.
skip
I know.
13 with those king
Yeah.
attacks.
We
Because
got this
penny
shit. Don't
likely
worry about it.
on 13
Y'all
No,
dead cop.
we
just
don't have
because of
this game.
the values,
You gotta have
Lost
what?
this for
What
sure.
the
that
hell?
might
You
just
talking about?
Yeah, I don't know
due
what
to the
game
push
you're
of Toho,
watching.
and
We
go
lost
for
this one a
14
long time
instead,
ago.
which is the
Long
big
time.
brave of
Look,
both
they're
Azria
up. They're
and the
about to get
possible
mana frenzy.
games
Y'all don't even
on the
got
side
the
of
third
Oh
Toho.
tier.
yeah, right. Yeah, we're done
It's a lot
for.
of
Oh my
things, and with the
goodness.
amount of myth that's being.
That sounds like
fought
Splinters
here,
playing TFT.
It would be quite the order to stop that from happening.
So they are
Splinters, you
skipping
there?
13 on both sides. They recognize
Yeah,
the
man.
princess on both
Shut up.
sides as well. And
Shut up,
Oh, you're
Burns.
gonna have to
14 is
sound
gonna
like
be a
a bit way
problematic for
bigger
Toho and Seeders
pussy than
because
that,
Seeders
Burns, if you're
trade
trying to
from
be
13
Splinters.
with the fertilizer
We
here
all know it's not you.
with the Phoenix. So looking very grim on the side of Toho and
And what
Seeders.
the fuck happened
But
with
look at the value
Sean
from Julian.
Strickland and
That's the power of
Pereira?
the venture. And now he's
Oh
gonna be
yeah,
doing very well
are
here on
you guys up
14
for that one
with
or
the
no?
Hardened Mudments.
I can't remember. I was
The
passing
only
out.
one I feel people was the last fight. But the other ones I
On the
missed because I was
venture,
on the
good
phone.
payout from it.
Oh yeah, Pereira
Not
knocked
punished,
Strickland
and
out
then-
fucking cold.
Did Toho and Cedars? They've already used their.
Yeah, they were even saying that
or
too.
no, that's not sacrifice. That's just pawn shop. So
That was
they have an
the
option.
one I was saying. I was like,
to
how the
sell
fuck?
for
It was
14.
earlier in the night. I was like,
Not
is an
seeing a sin
unranked
here, but,
guy
I
fighting
don't
number
think there's
4.
anything that
Do you
would
remember
really
that?
Yeah.
Hold at this point.
Well, yeah, the
Double
unranked dude
order,
knocked number
probably
4
not
out.
the best sense.
So now,
Um,
how does
I
that
would say,
work with rankings?
because
Because
this
that's what
helped
I
the
was
Phoenix to think a
curious
little bit
about.
better.
Yeah, that's
No
weird.
4 eyes.
So you're not even in the top 10 and you knocked number 4 out. Now, are you now number 4 and that dude
maybe
just
that was a
drops
better
off
set
the
for
list?
Julian, but still quite effective. Still 400 cent.
You know what I
Penny
mean?
going for the double
Yeah,
secret. That's
I
going to hurt
agree.
the Azaria. That's
Yeah, I
for sure.
don't know how that works.
I'm gonna put
Yeah,
the
UFC
ball.
is some weird shit
Oh,
going
yeah,
on.
it's gonna just
Oh,
be
yeah.
a damage sponge. While everything else works on that split.
Yeah, really, every fight was good except for
Julian is nowhere near leashing that. That is
No, and that other one.
easy hold for him.
Oh
Look
yeah,
at
that
his
other one
position,
was
just
trash
thinking
too.
perfectly,
O'Malley.
Yeah.
Yeah,
utilizing the
I tried to
mana shield
erase
and then
that
just
one out of my
dealing
brain.
Yeah,
with
that
the
one
mana
I just
shield
that
on
one
14.
just never
So
happened.
I
in
guess
my
the
shit
penny,
opinion.
was-
over the lower
I
value
don't
for
know.
him, will
Yeah.
cause him
Just
to
pretend
leave.
that never happened, because that was
And
I
Toho is
told
going to
you
lead
to turn
Seaver
that
as
shit
well, and
off.
we'll have a quick 3-0.
I said turn that
3-0
shit off.
here for this
Even before
last
he
series
did that
of
stuff.
today.
You did too, Burns. you
Seeders and
did.
Toho.
Yeah, he's like, get him out of the cage. Hey, they
That
did
was
eventually.
Right.
That was so stupid.
That was so bad.
Oh, that was bad.
Some banter in the chat.
It was real bad.
Like, I fucking knew it.
There we go.
Alright,
Yeah, and
let's.
so
no,
it
I
will
can't do
be
that. I need
Mode
something
Abuse
anti-air.
advancing to the final weekend.
Yeah,
so
honestly,
we do
I
have
think
the
that
final
dude just
weekend
wanted out of
all
the fight.
worked out here.
Oh,
So,
definitely.
a lot
That
of
guy was
issues
such a pussy,
today.
dude.
Because even
Sorry,
later on,
it
like
wasn't
they
the
showed
best
that shit
broadcast
again.
ever.
That nut kick wasn't a
just
nut
because
kick. He
of
kicked him like in the
Russia
lower
and a
stomach.
Discord problem
And
Mhm.
that
that
eye
made up
poke
all the
wasn't even
energy
close
of my
to
power
an eye
source
poke.
without
Right.
any understanding of what.
And
of
neither one
what.
of them were even
It fixed,
relatively
he
close to
managed in the
even
end,
call the
and,
fight. Neither one of those were even close to being able to call the fight.
And I mean, we did have a good series between Burnt and Toho.
Like, try
But
to see who's faking
a
or
little bit
not. Because
disappointing.
these
There was
some
no
tough guys
adjustment
in
from
UFC.
Sidorus and Toho throughout
Like,
the
Right.
series to
that
go
fight,
for
that
maybe a
guy,
little bit of a
he did not want to
targeter
fight. Like,
style
he should be,
No,
like,
game
he didn't.
and possibly leave
yeah,
them and
he
get an
should be
early
boxing,
lead.
not UFC.
Yeah, that's
Right.
what I mean. Like, he was
and
just
that
trying to
seemed like
find
the
a
most
way out of
reasonable
that
adjustment
fight. It
because
seemed.
Yeah, he was
to
trying to
go
hit by any
for
means. Like, he just wanted to get
stronger
paid.
push,
For
bigger
sure.
DJ
impact,
went
and,
back to D3.
and then seemed a little bit out of reach. They
Like,
meager
I don't think
plays
he'll ever
were
get booked
executed
again.
very
That was
well.
stupid.
I hope not.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
fight
So
sucked.
I'm
Better luck
currently
That dude should get
asking if
kicked out of any
how
fighting
Yeah,
league
Julian
he's
Penny
ever
at least
been
how
considered
Well,
for
he
after that.
could box.
Because that
That's
was
fine.
pathetic.
Yeah, he could box, but as far as UFC, no.
Yeah, and
He
I
just
guess
don't do
the
it.
Adesanya fight wasn't like it was bad. It was just boring.
That was stupid. But if you want to watch boring fights, like, you go to boxing. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
The UFC, like you go there to watch the fucking brawling.
Right.
Like they don't care about no fucking win or lose record. Like they have a fucking fight. Like if you want to run this shit and dodge punches and shit, that's boxing. That's fine. Not the UFC, damn. Like who cares about winning or losing? God damn.
That's probably why they put Lawler on the main card for that fight. They're like, man, these are going to be some boring fights. We need a good one up here.
Yeah.
This dude never fails to amaze us.
Yep.
Annihilated them.
Seems like we win one, lose one, win one, lose one. It's like they give like a bonus after you lose or something happens.
Yeah, I think you get an easy ass one.
It's been
Yeah,
like
they
that
give
though.
you. Yeah.
Yeah, they do that as an